Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. My name is Margaret and welcome to Purple Frog. Today I'm going to be doing an updated manga collection for the end of the year for 2022, so without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so starting off here on the first shelf, we have Haikyu. Haikyu is a 45-volume sports series that follows the main character Hinata Shoyo and his journey of volleyball through basically high school into adulthood. And yeah, it's a great sports series. It is completed at 45 volumes. There's also a fantastic anime. I really love the character building and just the great rivals and just like the character relationships and how they develop. It's a great story if you guys really want a great sports series. This is a classic, always recommend. Moving down from the Haikyu shelf, we have Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone, I believe, is completed at 25 volumes with the spin-off series. In Japanese, I have all that is out in English so far, so that is 1 through 23, I think. Great series. It's kind of about this post-apocalyptic world where everybody has been turned to stone for thousands of years, and the main character Senku, who is a high schooler, breaks out of his crystallized kind of cocoon, if you will, and he basically saves the world and kind of revives it through science. This is a great series for those who are into science and just very unique world building. Fantastic series. The next series I have on this shelf is Basara, which is a great 27-volume late 90s shoujo series. Such a staple. It follows the main character as her brother, who was the child of destiny, passes away and she has to assume his identity. If you guys love a strong female lead with some cross-dressing elements and kind of a forbidden romance, this is definitely a great one to pick up. Sadly though, a lot of the volumes are very hard to find, so it is severely out of print, but overall a fantastic series. The last series we have on the shelf is Boya the Female Wolf, which is actually a manga series that is done by Hanurong, which is my favorite author. I have volumes 1 to 17 complete. Such a great series, very similar to Basara in the fact that this has a strong female protagonist, some cross-dressing. If you guys love kind of a delinquent vibe, this is what I'd recommend. Such a great series, highly recommend. Moving down, we have my second sports shelf. This has some of my favorite Shonen Jump Viz Media sports series. These are all such nostalgic reads. Starting off with the first series on the shelf is Hikaru no Go. Hikaru no Go follows this young 6th grader boy as he goes and basically learns this game Go with the spirit. It's very supernatural sports, board game, psychological type of a vibe. I highly recommend it. It is done by the artwork is done by Takashi Obata, who did the same artwork for like Death Note and Bakuman. So if you guys are like a big fan of that, I highly recommend checking out Hikaru no Go. It is completed at 23 volumes. And yeah, it's such a great series. Such a classic, and I believe it should be a staple in everybody's collection. The next series on the shelf, I just have some random volumes of Prince of Tennis, which is a great series about tennis. Obviously, in the title, it follows Ryoma, who is a middle schooler, and his journey with playing tennis. The last series on the shelf is Ice Shield 21. Ice Shield 21 follows a bullied high schooler who has been bullied all throughout his years of middle school as well. But over the course of him being bullied, he has been able to gain the talent of running really fast, and he gets recruited by the kind of losing football team, or the kind of loser football team. They work their way to the top of this football tournament type of a vibe. This is the one for you. This next shelf is dedicated to some of my darker series. So the first series on this shelf is Hell's Paradise, which is completed at 13 volumes. If you guys really want a dark kind of historical fantasy series that has a little bit of grit to it, similar to Chainsaw Man, that follows samurai, then this is the one for you. It follows the story of Gabimaru, who is a ninja, as he kind of is an outlaw, and he gets recruited by the shogun, recruited is a nice way of putting it, to go and explore and try to find this island of paradise, to find the elixir for like eternal youth. Great series. I'm sad it was only completed at 13 volumes, but overall such a great series. It is short but sweet. Another series on this shelf is Kaiju number 8, which is very similar to kind of Black Clover, I guess is the way I'd put it, or Solo Leveling. It is about this world that is full of kaiju, and this aspiring man in his 30s has been wanting to be a kaiju hunter for the longest time, but he does not have the talent for it until one day he actually turns into a kaiju. So it's a great series. I highly recommend it. So far it is only, it's ongoing at 4 volumes here in English, but it is such a great series. I just love the series so much. Definitely one of my favorite, if not my favorite, ongoing Shonen Jump series. I also have Chainsaw Man on this shelf. I have volumes 1 to 11, which is part 1, or all that has been released in English complete. This is, I mean, need I say more about this series? It is Chainsaw Man, basically follows Denji, who turns into this devil in a world full of devils, and he kind of fights monsters with his newly found powers. That is a horrible way of explaining it, but it is such a good series, especially if you love grit and mystery and psychological. This definitely is one I'd recommend for you. The anime is currently airing and is such a great anime, so if you guys also want to check it out before you actually consider buying the manga, that's a good way to go in my opinion. Next, I have Kotaro Lives Alone Volumes 1 and 2 in Japanese. I watched the anime on Netflix and I just had to buy it. It follows this young boy named Kotaro who was kind of abandoned by his parents and forced to live on his own. And it's just such a good series. If you love kind of self-sufficient toddlers, this is the way to go. Okay, time to rapid fire through these few series. This is not really a manga, so I'm not really going to go into detail. It is the Scum Villain Self-Saving System. This is an MXTX novel, such a great volume so far. I hope to pick up the rest soon. I also have Wand Dance, which is about hip-hop. I really need to pick up the rest. I believe there's 3 volumes currently out in English. I only have 1 and I really need to get the rest. On the same train, we have Blue Lock, another series that I only have the first volume for but need to get more of. I believe once again there are 3 volumes out and it is about soccer. I've heard such great things about the series. I also believe there's an anime for those who want to check that out. And the last volume I have on this shelf is Tokyo Revengers. Once again, I need to continue this series. I have a lot of the series in Japanese, as you guys will see later on in this video, but this is kind of a supernatural, delinquent type of series. So good, highly recommend if you guys love those high school delinquent fighting arcs, and that's like all this is. So good, highly recommend, such a great series. The last shelf on my first bookcase is dedicated to my darker spines, and they're all Tokyo Pop printings. Starting off here, we have GTO. I have almost the entire of GTO. I'm only missing volumes 13, 18, 19, and 25 until I have them all. I was super lucky to snag this off of Facebook Marketplace for $50. But GTO follows this ex-biker gang dude as he becomes a teacher of these high schoolers. Really great series if you guys love that delinquent aspect. Once again, this is a really nice one. It is a little bit harder to find. It has a fantastic anime. Highly recommend checking that out if you guys are wanting to get a taste of GTO. The other series I have on this shelf is Initial D. This is like in my top 3 series of all time. It follows Takumi as he kind of becomes this street racer. It is about street racing. Need I say more? I mean, all of the series have cars on the cover. I've been collecting this series on and off for a while. It is another very hard series to find, so I kind of pick up a volume when I find it for a good price. Currently, I just have a random assortment of volumes. I have volumes 1 to 12, 14, and 25. Some are severely warped. You know, what can a person do? This next shelf has a whole bunch of Viz Media, Shonen Jump, and Shonen titles. And shoujo titles as well, I guess is what you'd put this under the category of. Starting off with the first series I have on this shelf, I have Hunter x Hunter. I have volumes 1 to 17, but I'm missing 12 and 16, but Hunter x Hunter is a great series. It is currently ongoing. It's off of hiatus now, which is so great. It is about this young boy named Gon as he kind of goes on this adventure to find who his father is. Really great kind of world building in this series. Such a unique and classic shonen series. I believe most people have probably heard of this series. It is just amazing. I have displayed my favorite cover here. The artwork is pretty good, and this is done by the same creator of Yu Yu Hakusho, so if you guys are a fan of Yu Yu Hakusho, I highly recommend checking this out and vice versa. Of course, the series next to it is Yu Yu Hakusho. I have volume 1 here. This is finally getting reprinted soon, coming up in the next few months. I am so beyond excited. This is definitely one of my favorite series, such a classic and very nostalgic series. It follows this delinquent Yusuke who passes away, and he basically falls into this supernatural adventure of becoming a spirit detective and hunting down spirits and other supernatural beings with some of his friends. So this is such a great series. It is completed at 19 volumes. It is getting reprinted, as I said earlier, so if you guys have been wanting to pick up this series, now is a great time to start picking it up for a good price. I also have some random volumes of Food Wars. I have volumes 1, 2, 3, 8, and 30. Another great classic Shonen Jump series in my opinion. I mean, it's not as classic as Yu Yu Hakusho nor Hunter x Hunter, but it is a very great series that follows the main character here, Soma Yukihira, who kind of is cooking at this kind of cooking school. It makes cooking look very intense, so if you guys are a fan of cooking or if you guys want to learn some cooking techniques, it's a fun read. I highly recommend it. The next series I have is Spy Family. Spy Family is currently ongoing in Japanese and in the States. Here in the States, it is up to volume 8. It is basically about this family who's not really blood related, but kind of this ragtag family of the spy who is the father. The mother is an assassin and the daughter is a telepath, but nobody except for the daughter knows the other's identity. So yeah, it's a really great series, has a lot of slice of life and shonen elements, so if you guys are looking for a really nice read, this is definitely the one I'd recommend. The final series I have on this shelf is Banana Fish. How do I describe Banana Fish in words? I honestly do not know. It is completed at 19 volumes. I'm currently missing volumes 13 and 14, but this is just such a great series, such a tearjerker, so a warning for those who are not a big fan of sadder endings. This has a sadder ending. But yeah, it basically follows this character Eiji here, who is a Japanese photographer who goes to America to kind of help with his newspaper and kind of write an article about the gang life there. And he meets this other kid around his age, Ash, who is a member of said gang, and kind of their relationship and the adventure that they go on. So good, highly recommend. This has such a great anime as well, and the manga is flawless. Overall, in my opinion, this is 100% a masterpiece. This next shelf here, I'm kind of going to have to do a little bit of a fire off or a quick round because there are just so many shorter volume series on this shelf, so we're gonna have to do this pretty quickly. The first volume here we have is Love's an Illusion, which is an Omegaverse story. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of the main protagonist in this series. He's kind of a brat, but I got this series purely because I want to support the publishers in producing more Korean manhwa, since I love manhwa so much. Following that, we have On or Off, which is a great workplace romance. It is a manhwa, so it is in full color. So for those who are interested in workplace romances, this is a really cute one. The main character is absolutely hilarious. So yeah, I just love the relationship between the main couple. The next series I have on this shelf is Payback. I have volumes 1 and 2, which is all that is currently out in Korean as it is not published in English. It follows the main character here, who is a rising star in the kind of entertainment industry, where he's trying to break through into the entertainment industry, if you will. And if you guys love a revenge plot, this is definitely a great one. The story is amazing, the character building is flawless. I just really enjoyed this series. I especially love the artwork. It is all so beautiful and so stunning. On to some Square Enix series, I believe is how you pronounce it. I have The Apothecary Diaries, which is a great series that takes place in a historical Asia type setting that follows the main character, who is kind of immune to poisons as she becomes a royal taste tester. And yeah, just a great series, strong female protagonist. You got some disguise elements in here. If you guys really like a really just tough female lead, this is a great one. I also have Happy Marriage, which is similar, about a kind of traditional family. It's kind of like a Cinderella story, but set in like historical Asia, if that makes sense, like Eastern Asia. But I believe there's only 1 volume out so far. It's really good, so I highly recommend it. Okay, so here's when we're really gonna have to start firing them off. Starting off, I have Seaside Stranger, volumes 1 to 4, which is all that is out in English. Oops. But yeah, it's a really cute series about these strangers who met a while ago and then they reunite at the beach. So really cute series. We also have A White Rose in Bloom, which is done by the same mangaka as Classmates, and it is basically set in an academy and is a GL series that is really adorable. I read it online, hence it's still in the plastic, but it's really cute. I believe there's only 2 volumes out so far. I don't know if it's completed or not. Following that, I have My Love Mix-Up, which is a really cute kind of love triangle series, I think is way to describe it. It's basically about this dude who confesses to another dude when he meant to confess to a girl. It's really cute, hilarious, absolutely like adorable, highly recommend. I have some other series I have not read yet, like I Think I Turned My Childhood Friend Into a Girl and Only the Flowers Know. I don't know, I have not read either of these series, so I hope they're good. I also have Lynx, which is done by the same mangaka that did Given, really good series. I also have Go For It Nakamura, which is a really cute series. I highly recommend it. It is completed, I believe, at 2 volumes. I have Dekoboko Bittersweet Days and Dekoboko Sugar Days, and it follows these classmates and childhood friends that kind of evolve into a love story. I also have Puppy Love, The God and the Flightless Messenger, and Fangs Volume 1. This is a vampire series and a werewolf series, kind of just supernatural romance. Really good, highly recommend. I also have Our Dining Table, which is a really cute, wholesome one-shot, and Classmates Volumes 1 to 4. So yeah, I mean, it's like a high school romance series. It's really cute. I have yet to read Volume 4, but the first 3 volumes are really adorable. Lastly, I have my Sublime series on this shelf. We have His Favorite, which is a really adorable kind of school romance series, Moon and Sun, which is about kind of drag queens and Yakuza. We have Jealousy Volume 1, which is a Yakuza series, and lastly we have Given, which is about kind of high school romance, tragedy, and music. So yeah. This next shelf has a whole bunch of my absolutely favorite romance titles, so I'm really excited, so let's get into it. Starting off here, we have Gokusen, which is very similar to GTO. It is kind of like the female version of GTO. It is about Miss Yumiko Yamaguchi, who is a heiress to a Yakuza family, but she decides she wants to become a teacher. So she becomes a teacher at this all-boys kind of delinquent school, but the plot twist is that everybody thinks that they can take her because she's a female, but she is just like, has her Yakuza ways, so it's so funny. I mean, she's like fighting people left and right, she's running from the cops. It is great, so beautiful, such a great anime as well. So if you guys kind of really enjoyed GTO, this is definitely a series that I would check out. The next series I have is Villains Are Destined to Die Volume 1, which is a new print that is a manhwa done by Ise Press. It follows Penelope Icart, who is this fake daughter. It's kind of like an isekai in the sense that she is a fake daughter, and she kind of has to act like this real daughter, but she knows that she's the villainess, so she avoids her flags of doom and tries to gain the male lead's affection. Yeah. The next series I have here is A Sign of Affection, which currently only has 5 volumes out, and it's a really sweet romance that takes place in a college setting between this guy who is very worldly in the sense that he likes to travel and learn lots of languages, and this girl who is deaf, and kind of their story of how they fall in love. I really enjoyed the male lead because he is very kind of true to himself and very heartfelt, as he honestly wants to learn ASL and does not treat the female lead any differently just because she is deaf. So this is a really great series, really wholesome, really adorable. Highly recommend those who are really a fan of beautiful artwork and are looking for a really wholesome series. I also have Play It Cool Guys, which follows these really kind of, it's like a slice of life series. It follows these kind of really handsome guys who are actually really socially awkward and get up to some really funny shenanigans because of how kind of awkward and funny they are. So yeah, it's really fun series. It's really lighthearted, not really any plot to it whatsoever. It's in full color. They are a little bit expensive, but it's a really nice series. The artwork is absolutely fantastic. Next, we have another series that I have not read, but it is a series called I've Become an Omega Today, another Omegaverse. I've no idea what this is about. The artwork looked pretty, so I got it. Yeah, I believe there's only 1 volume out so far. I think it's a one-shot because I don't see a volume 1 number 1 on here, so yeah. Then I have the last series in my top 3 of all time, and that is Kodocha or Kodomo no Omocha, which means child's toy in Japanese. It follows the main character here, Sana Kurada, who is an actress on a child's television show, and here's the male lead, who is Akito Hayama, and kind of their relationship and Sana and Akito's struggles that they have in their family and in personal lives and school life, from like elementary school up until high school. This is such a great series if you guys really want a slice of life comedy series that also at the same time simultaneously talks about and tackles really tough topics. This is such a great series. Like it does so much with so little, in my opinion. There's only 10 volumes out. It is completed at 10 volumes. So it's a really short series. The anime though is like 100 episodes. So cute though. I highly recommend. Words cannot express how much I love this series. I even have like a little Sana Kurata acrylic stand because I just love her so much. I love them so much. I also have Until I Meet My Husband, which is another series I've yet to read. I've heard a lot of great things about this. I believe this is based off of a novel, which is written about the author's real life experiences. The artwork looked really beautiful and I heard a lot of good things about it, so I picked it up. Above that I have the first half of Blue Flag, which is a really adorable love triangle type of series. I guess it's similar to My Love Mix-Up in the sense that it is about, except it's kind of different. It follows the male protagonist as he kind of navigates sexuality in high school. It's really cute. It's like a coming of age series. Highly recommend. The ending was kind of unsatisfying, but I definitely think it is still worth a read. I also have volumes 1 to 4, which is all that is out of Namaki Zakari or Cheeky Brat. This is a really awesome romance and sports series. It's kind of like the perfect mixture in my opinion. We have the main character here who is manager of the basketball team, and the male lead here who is a member of the basketball team. If you guys really love a height difference, this is a great series. She, I believe, is like a year older than him, and yeah, it is a pretty long series and is completed in Japanese. I was so excited and I'm still so happy that this is finally getting an English release, though the release dates are pretty slow. Namaki Zakari is just such a great series for those who really want a kind of mixture of romance and sports and comedy. This is by far the #1 recommendation that comes to mind. On that same note, I have Soma Spider So What Volume 1, which is the last volume up here. It is just I only have one of the volumes, but I watched the anime, which made me want to get this. I believe this is originally based off of a light novel series, and this is kind of an isekai about this girl and her entire class who get isekai'd into this other fantasy world, and everybody gets like reincarnated as like some sort of cool monster or prince, and she gets reincarnated as a spider. But I really love her positive mentality and how she makes the best out of her situation. It is very inspiring. For those who like the time I was reincarnated as a slime, I guess this is like the girl version of that, in the sense that the main character is a girl and not a guy, but it's really cute. I really love it. I just love the female character, the female protagonist so much. She's so amazing, so this is a really great series. We also have I Want to Be a Wall Volume 1, which follows the story of this asexual woman who marries a gay man, and I just really like the series. It's really wholesome. You don't really see a lot of asexual representation in manga or most media at all, so I think it's really adorable and really awesome that they are having some more representation done in media. Lastly on this shelf, I have Blue Period, volumes 1 to 6. This series is currently ongoing to my knowledge, and I believe we're up to volume 10 in English. It follows Yatoro, I believe is his name. It's been a while since I read the series. And his journey of discovering what he wants to do with his life. So it's kind of a coming of age of the transition from kind of a child or a teenager into adulthood, and him discovering his love of art. I really love this series, especially of the unique concept that it tackles of art. It also deals with some other topics that are kind of less covered in media in general, so this is a really great series for those who want to read some manga about art, or just want a great series overall. This is one I highly recommend. Moving down onto the shelf, we have kind of like my red and white spine shelf. We have Punch, which is a 3-volume shoujo series about boxing. Mixed Vegetables, which is kind of about cooking, I guess. Really good series. I am missing volumes 1 and 4 until it's complete. I also have We Were There, some random volumes, which is kind of a tragedy romance series. Another really great series. This has more of a serious undertone, similar to A Silent Voice in terms of the vibes that you get, in my opinion. And I also have Wild Ones, which is a really great series. I believe it's 10 volumes long, and it's about Yakuza. So, on top of that, I have My Next Life is a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom, volumes 1 to 7, which is all that is currently out in English. Yeah, I mean, this is a great series about this girl who gets reincarnated into her favorite Ultraman game as the villainess, Katarina Claes. And once again, I just love her attitude. She's like, yo, I'm the villainess. I gotta learn to be self-sufficient. I'm going to become a farmer. Need I say more? I just love that mentality of a female protagonist, to have that really kind of strong mindset. So, of course, I had to pick up the series. This is published by 7 Seas, and below that I have Crossplay Love, which is a newer series. I only have volume 1, as volume 2, as of filming this, is coming out in a couple of days. This is a great series about cross-dressing. It's about these two people that meet as when they're dressed up or as girls, but they're actually boys, but they think each other is a girl, but it's confusing, but it's really good. I highly recommend it. I read this immediately as I got it. It's so good. Highly recommend. I'm at a loss of words because it's so good. It's so cute. I have more Tokyo Revengers, but this is my manga I have in Japanese. I have quite a bit of it in Japanese. I also have the TV guidebook and the character analysis book or whatever. Yeah, it's like a delinquent series, like I said. I love delinquent and Yakuza and gangster media, so yeah, I have quite a decent amount of this series. So good. My favorite character in the series is Hanma. Sadly, there's not that much Hanma merchandise. I hope they make an Android soon, because that would be a dream come true. I also have the first volume of Boys Over Flowers in Chinese. Yeah, I really enjoy this series. This is like the first ever drama I ever watched, Meteor Garden. Moving below that, I have Fire Force volumes 1 to 5. A really unique series. I really love the world building and the unique concept. This is about fire, clearly it's about this world where human combustion has become an issue, of when people are suddenly bursting into these flame monsters, and some people are gifted with the power to manipulate fire in certain ways or create their own, and in some cases both. Just a great series. I highly recommend it. I love the anime, and I just love the unique world building and concept. I think it's really creative, and I also just love the science elements mixed in with it, as well as the comedy and also the serious topics. It's just a really nice mixture of a really good shonen series. The final series I have on this shelf is Bleach. I have the first box set, which is volumes 1 to 21. This is a really classic shonen series. It's one of the big 3 to most people. I don't know, the big 3. People always debate what are the big 3, but this is a really good series. It's about the Soul Society and this high schooler who kind of gets wrapped up. Moving down onto the next shelf here, I have Jujutsu Kaisen volumes 0 through 17, which is all that is out currently. This is an ongoing series about curses and people who fight the curses, and it takes place in high school for the main character. It's kind of like Chainsaw Man. I also have Requiem of the Rose King volumes 1 to 12, 14, and 15. I have 16 and 13 ordered, so they should be here soon, but this is like one of my favorite series at the moment. It is completed at 17 volumes, so we are waiting for the 17th volume to get published in English, but this is such a great series. It is a historical fantasy series that is based on true events with a bit of a twist. Okay everyone, so the next series I have here is Bakano, which is a series about kind of gangster mob life in the early 20s in New York. It's a really great series. Yeah, I really love the unique setting because not many series are set in the United States in the 20s. The next series I have here is The Savior's Book Cafe Story in Another World. This is another isekai series. I believe you guys told me it is completed at 5 volumes, so we are waiting for volume 5 to get published in English. This is a really great series from what I've heard. I've yet to been able to actually read it though, because I do not have volume 1, but it just got reprinted in English, so I have it ordered. It is coming, and I'm so beyond excited to read it because I've just heard so many amazing things about this series. I also have Mao volumes 1 to 7, which is all that is out. This is done by the amazing mangaka Rumiko Takahashi. This is a shonen series that follows the female protagonist. It's very similar to Inuyasha in my opinion, with a bit of a twist, and I really love the setting. It takes place in the 20s in Japan. As you guys can tell, I love series that take place in the 20s because I just think it's such a really interesting period of time for a series to take place in, because not many series do take place in that time period. So if you guys love a supernatural action series with demons and stuff, this is a really good one. I highly recommend it. There's not many volumes out so far, so it's pretty easy to catch up on. I also have Kaiji volumes 1 and 2. I believe only 3 volumes are out so far in English. This is a really great series that is done by Dempa. I actually got this because I really enjoyed this author's work. Though my favorite series is not published in English, which is Akagi. That is my all-time favorite series done by this mangaka, but they only have Kaiji published in English, so I picked it up. It's a gambling series. Really great if you guys want an action gambling series. This is a good one. I also have Solo Leveling, which is a great kind of RPG leveling up manhwa for those who really like an overpowered protagonist with like cheat skills. This is a good one. I also have JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which is about a bizarre family tree with superpowers. That's just how I'm gonna describe it, okay? I have part 2 complete since it is my favorite part. I just realized how severely out of order this is, so just ignore that. And above it, I have Game Between the Suits, which I have no idea what it's about. I've yet to read it, but I hear it's like a workplace cat and mouse romance, so I'm excited to get into it. Okay, so here are the final series in my collection. This is in the Dungeon, which is just a cabinet next to my desk that stores kind of the overfill manga that I don't really have room for on my shelves. Starting off, I have some random volumes of My Hero Academia, as well as the first 2 volumes of the spin-off series of My Hero Academia Vigilantes. This is about a world where everybody has superpowers and kind of aspire to be heroes or villains. Yeah, it's a pretty great series. I mean, it's pretty basic. Yeah, it's good. I'll hand it to that. It's not like amazing, but it gets the job done. Similar to JJK in my opinion. Okay, these series are not actually in my collection, but series I need to sell, so I'm just gonna skip those. But I have Detective Conan Volume 1 in Japanese. I don't know why I have that. I also have Beauty Pop Volume 1. This is a really great shoujo series. It is a 10-volume shoujo series that is about hairstyling, so that's really great. I read the manga a while back, so when I saw this in stores, I picked it up. And the last 2 volumes I have are just volumes 11 and 12 of Banana Fish in Japanese. Yeah, I mean, these are severely sun damaged, but it's a really great series, so I have some random volumes in Japanese. Thank you everyone so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to comment, rate, like, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys!